got in a bit
Oh,
early there.
I did.
Oh,
Sorry,
you know
man.
what? No, I didn't do my lights. I'm
Ah,
doing a you.
Duval, come on, man.
I'm doing a you.
You
That's
gotta
it.
do the lights.
Full light now.
Come
Full
on, man.
light.
There you
Oh,
go.
and your lights
Look.
as well. Look at that.
There, I gotta get the lights on, man.
Lights, camera, action.
Action, and there we go. All right, listen, folks, you are listening. You've downloaded episode 232, and
Yeah.
we've got a great show
Mm.
for you. So we're going to be doing obviously news. We're going to be doing streaming,
Mm-hmm.
trailers, and then we've got a couple of film reviews. Oh, well, actually, we're going to do at least one film review, and if we've got time, we're going to throw in another one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stick around. Thanks for downloading this. And Deval, before we get into any of all the other usual stuff, please let's do the shout outs.
Yes, we've got one shout out this week, and that goes to Dicey Greno on Instagram. Dicey
What a name.
Greno. Yeah, she likes, do you know what? Maybe I jumped in a bit early with this shout out because I think next week I'm going to watch a couple of horror films, or maybe one at least. But yeah, she loves the horror films,
Oh,
horror
yeah.
novels, anything horror and sort of, that kind of, area. I know
Scariness.
many people don't like that, but Dicey Grainer loves it. Well, if you want to go see it, go check out her page on Instagram, Dicey
Yeah.
Grainer.
I know. You know, a lot of people have a hard time with the horror movies, Deval.
Yeah, I do. I do. I love it, but I do. And when I watch it, like years to come, if the horror's been good, like Emily Rose, no. The Entity, no.
You
I
know
will
what?
watch those.
Them possession ones, those are the ones that get me because you know
Yeah,
why? It's like this unseen force,
yeah,
and like
exactly.
oh man,
That's coming out soon. Russell Crowe's got one coming out soon, called the Pope's
the
Exorcist.
assist.
Yeah, and he's got the same
We got
accent he had in Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm like, what's this guy doing? No, 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 no.
oh man, where's that guy gone, man? Where's he been?
Mate. Yeah.
All right, okay, so so thanks for that shout out. And listen, you could be a shout out on this show. All you got to do is hit us up on Instagram, on YouTube, and we'll shout you out and let us know what you're watching. All right, okay, so Devout, let's move on to movie news. All right, so now let's take it away, man, because movie news, it's kind of been a bit kind of John Wick's taken over, man, but we'll get to that in a bit. But before we do that, I just want to speak about this. So you know how, having a movie in the top 10 grossing movies of all time is a pretty major big thing, right? If you can turn around and say your movie is in the top 10, top 5, top 3, and if you're someone like James Cameron, you're pretty much like in the top 5, aren't you? How many times are you in the top 5?
I think 3 times. I think
Oh
no, 2.
man.
Yeah, it's 3 times. 3 times top 5.
Talk about this a little bit.
Yeah. So Avatar, James Cameron. So as we know, Avatar is his baby. Avatar came out in 2009, the first one, and we've had Way of the Water that came out in Christmas 2022.
Yeah.
People were saying, is it going to do good? Is it going to be as good as the last one? All that kind of stuff. It was longer. The graphics, special effects were really, really good, and it has proven to be really, really successful. So Avatar: The Way of Water is number 3 on the all-time highest grossing box office movies.
Mad.
So number 1 you got Avatar, number 2 you got Avengers Endgame, number 3 you got Avatar: Way of Water at 2.3 billion dollars.
Wow.
So that's just goes to show, James Cameron is a guaranteed thing.
Yeah. And Titanic is number 4 and number 5, isn't it?
Titanic is number 4. Then you got Star Wars, Force Awakens, number 5. Avengers: Infinity War, number 6. Spider-Man: No Way Home, number 7. Yeah, number 7.
Wow.
Jurassic World from 2015, number 8. The Lion King, number 9. Avengers, number 10. So Marvel are all up in there. They've got 3, 4. Yeah, 4 Marvel films in there. That's really good.
And the Avatar movies is Disney, isn't it? It's Disney, isn't
Disney
it?
now. It's Disney now. So Disney have got the top 10. Hold on, top 10. 1, 2, 3. It's Titanic Disney now. I think it is, isn't it?
Titanic, yes. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's on Disney.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got 9. The only one that's not there is Jurassic World. They got 9 of the. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. So listen, man. Yeah, one of those franchises is going to get you on there, right? But listen, it's incredible, isn't it? So Devout. So in terms of kind of Avatar going forward, they're going to have there's going to be a part 4 and a part 5
Yeah,
and a
there's
part 6 maybe.
three more movies already in the makings. So there's I can't remember what the names are, but there's going to be one coming out every Christmas for the next 5 years, basically. And
Oh
there's
my
a gap in
gosh.
between somewhere. There's a gap in
Yeah.
between somewhere, but yeah, for the next 5 years, there's going to be avatars coming out every Christmas. So there you go.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
madness. All right, keep it locked with us, folks, and we'll give you more news on that when it comes out. Now, listen, we're talking about Marvel, Deval. Where does Ant-Man 3 stand in the whole records? Is it up there? Is it down there? What's going on, man?
Ant-Man 3. It's not doing so well. People really thought Ant-Man 3, with Kang and all that kind of thing, is really gonna, bring it to another level. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it has not done that. It's done about $500 million, just about that, really.
Is
And
it?
that's worldwide, yeah. And the budget for Ant-Man was 200 million. And what people don't realize is that the budget for making the movie being 200 million, and then the budget
Mm,
for marketing alone is 100 million as well.
jeez.
So that's 300 million. Instead of taking 500, I think 512 million altogether. And people want their money back, so it needs to make about 600 to break even, they say. And that's not
Wow.
that's not just getting back what you put in. That's with a bit of money on top as well, and to account for all kinds of costs and stuff. But yeah, it's not really doing so well. Ant-Man 2 done better, you know.
Is it Ant-Man 2?
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
is it? What do you reckon? What's going on with Marvel? Because they've had kind of like, I don't know, look, Thor Love and Thunder. Was it Thor Love and Thunder? Yeah, Thor Love and
Yeah.
Thunder.
That done
Now
700
Ant-Man.
million. That done better than this, but even that was shit. That film was shit, but it's still
Is
done better.
it?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man. So okay, so commercially, all right, okay, so Thor Love and Thunder's kind of taken in a lot of money and everything, but kind of critically, these movies,
yeah.
they're not doing well, right?
Mm.
What's
It's the
going
cookie
on?
cutter Marvel sort of process driven, thing that they've got. And we spoke about it last week. Victoria Alonso, one of the executive producers,
Mm,
leaving, and there seems to be a bit of an unsettled camp at Marvel, and they're realizing, not just from the critics, but the money. When you hurt someone's money, hmm, shit has got to change. So it just
exactly.
looks like what they had in the original. Infinity War saga, the first 23 movies, leading up to Thanos, it was all very tight and
Mm,
original, and well, not original, but it was good. It was good. They weren't all great, but they were good. But
yeah.
now there just seems to be a level it's going down.
It's going
This is
down,
this,
right?
yeah, this is
Yeah.
going down. It's not getting any better. So something's got to give, man. I mean, they need to really get back to the drawing board and
Yeah.
make what people want, not
And
what Jay.
remember, And
Yeah.
remember, there's no Robert Downey Jr.'s, there's no Chris Evans, there's
Mm,
no going to be James Gunn, there's no Chris Pratts. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any Chris Pratts in your
mm,
Guardians, and so all these new characters they're going to have to try and start fleshing out. So obviously, we the Flixters, we're going to be keeping an eye on this because obviously we love that whole universe. We
mm,
want to see great movies, we want to see great characters, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And then obviously
mm,
on the other side of that, we'll have to wait and see what the DC brings us. But before we do kind of all that sort of stuff, I just want to speak about this, Deval. You're talking about numbers, you're talking about box office. Check this out. John Wick 4, Deval, is absolutely
mm. Yeah,
smashing it at the box
yeah,
office. So check this
yeah.
out. The film uh, is most likely, according to kind of industry experts, the film is most likely going to surpass John Wick Part 3, which took in 327 million worldwide. Okay,
Okay.
and so what he's saying is, John Wick 4 has grossed 86 million domestically and another 64 million from overseas territories for a running global total of just 150 million. So it's only been out what, a week or so, or is it 2 weeks?
It's been out. Oh, yeah, a week and change. But even those stats you're reading, that will be a few days old as well. That won't be like
Yes,
right now
exactly.
sort of thing. So that's going to be even higher.
Exactly. So opening weekend when it came out, it kind of blasted through 73 million in its opening weekend. So
Mm,
that overtook John Wick Part 3. So what they're saying is, there was this kind of question mark on whether Keanu Reeves would kind of come back for a part 4,
mm.
sorry, for a part 5. I mean, with numbers like this, Deval, I mean, surely he's got to come back, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the film, it was mad, it was silly in places, it was very over the top, unrealistic,
Mm,
but it was fun. That is
yeah,
the end, that's the end goal. You go to the cinema, you don't go there for education, you go there to have fun most of the time, and that's what this delivered. And I think just the ingredients of John Wick from 1 to 4, they've been consistent, it's gotten bigger and bigger. I was watching the
yeah.
making of it just the other day, and they're saying that the director, Don, what's his name? Donnie Yen was saying that the
Mm,
director understands him even
mm.
maybe more than some of the directors do back in Hong Kong. He said
Is it?
to understand him and understand what needs to be done. It's another level, man. And do you know what?
Yeah.
Talking about John Wick, do you know what? I'm so stupid. I didn't realize that big German guy was flipping Scott Adkins.
Yes,
I didn't
he's a
realize
British.
that.
He's a
Yes,
he's been in
he's
loads
a
of
legend.
action
Yeah, he's a
movies.
legend. He's a
Yeah,
legend.
massive.
He's like
Yeah,
what's his name?
martial
Spawn
arts.
guy. Yeah, like him with this,
Yes,
like Michael J. White. They're from the same kind of, like, they've been around for a long time and are real hardcore,
like
fighters. And I didn't realize that
action.
was him.
Yeah,
I
that was
didn't
him.
realize that was him.
I know,
Uh,
I know, I know. That yeah, that's really because he was in a he was kind of like prosthetics or makeup or
yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
penguinish.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of he did
Mm,
that kind of thing. So which was really interesting. They did something interesting. But listen, going forward, Deval, if they were going to bring in, so look, we've had kind of these big kind of villains in there and like great martial arts stars. We've had Donnie Yen, obviously. I mean, we've had Mark Dacascos. He was in part three. He's a
mm,
really, really kind of old
mm,
school guy. Really good. Loved him and stuff.
yeah,
Who could they bring in? Imagine if they were going to bring in someone else on that level. Who
mate.
could they bring in?
The director, what's his name? Chad Stahelski.
Yeah.
He was talking about bringing in some big guns when it comes to karate, martial arts,
Karate.
all of that. And he's
Yeah.
talking about bringing in Jackie Chan,
Oh man.
and Jet Li. I mean,
Jeez.
these are old school cats, and it'll turn into like a bit of an Expendables of the martial arts world.
It would, wouldn't it? It would.
If they're gonna start doing that, there's one person that I want to see them bring in,
Ah,
and I think
mate,
I think
I
there's one
know.
person. There's
No,
one
there's two
person.
people. I know who you're going to say.
There's
Right,
one
listen.
person. Okay, okay.
Right,
Who's
Cynthia
gonna go
Rothrock.
first? Oh,
Cynthia, Cynthia Rothrock. Or why not Michelle Yeoh?
oh my, yeah. Michelle Yeoh definitely as well. But Cynthia Rothrock, I reckon she could come in, as in like she's John Wick's mum or something, or just
Oh
someone that is just on a
shit!
boy. I was watching a documentary about
Yes,
her the other day. Cynthia Rothrock, she's
she's
gangster.
gangster.
She's, yeah. Bring
She
her in.
was
Bring
doing
her
it
in.
even
In
before,
Hong
like
Kong, she was doing
in
it in
Hong
Hong
Kong.
Kong,
I know,
mate.
man. Seriously, there's so many ways that they can go, and obviously we are going to get something else in the John Wick universe. We're going to get Ballerina, maybe what this
Mm,
year or next year. I'm not sure exactly when. We'll
mm,
obviously definitely review it when it comes out. But listen, there's room. If this thing is making money, Deval.
yeah.
Sorry, there's an aeroplane that's going by. Can you hear it?
I want to be on that plane, man. I want to be on it. I'll be holding on to the wheels, just going wherever it's going. All cold.
Oh shit! But listen, like I was saying, there's loads
Mm,
of places where they can take this. I mean, oh man, it's incredible. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll let you know about any John Wick news. But listen, let's move on to new one streaming, Deval,
mm.
and let's do a couple of things from Netflix. So, kind of a lot of new stuff coming out on Netflix. Oh my god, you know what? Honestly, I can't keep up.
Yeah, it's a
But
lot.
listen,
It's a lot.
there's a lot of stuff going on. But you know what, right? What do they say, Deval, about love?
Well, I know, Donnie Yen's character in John Wick. I think he could really attest to this one. But they say love is blind. You know, they say he's blind. And
Trust me.
this show on Netflix, we just started watching it actually. Love is Blind in season 4.
Yeah.
I watched season 1, and I think, yeah, I watched season 2. I missed it season 3, but this is a show where basically people are, that have been on dating apps and they haven't gotten anywhere, and now they come into a controlled environment where they go into these pods, and in the pods there's one person there, and in the middle you got a wall. You got a wall in the
Mm,
middle. They can't see. So one person's on the other side they're talking. That for a whole week they have these dates for a week, and
yeah.
then they by the end of the
It-
week they propose to someone, and they go on for the
what?
journey to get, yeah, they propose, and then they get married in like 2 months time or something like that. but
What?
they propose without seeing their face because that's the test. It's about the soul, isn't it? Do you make that connection?
There you go.
Uh, this is on Netflix. It's fun. It's very dramatized. Sometimes it's a bit too much. The soppy music. Sometimes
Oh
it's a bit
man.
much, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fun show to watch if you like that sort of thing. Dating shows
Yeah.
and all that. So yeah, go give it a watch
Do you
on
remember? Do
Netflix.
you remember back in the day, Cilla Black, Blind
Oh,
Date,
s- mm. Du- du-
mate?
du- 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 du.
Oh man, what a show! Seriously, did you
Uh,
ever see? Did you ever see like a black guy or an Asian guy on that show on Blind
yeah, so
Date?
Otis, what's his name? Otis, he turned into a TV presenter. Yeah, I can't remember his surname. He's from Ghana as well, but yeah, he
Is
was on that
it?
show. I can't remember what happened with him, if he got a date or not. But he, actually, from that, he turned into a TV presenter. Yeah,
Oh
sorry,
shit!
I messed up your your
No,
thing there.
no, no, that's good. But that's what I wanted to throw out there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't ever remember seeing like a
Oh,
person of
okay.
color on there.
Mm,
But there was
yeah.
one with what's that one? The one with Paddy. There was this guy,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we used to watch that one all the time.
That one's wicked.
There's like
Yeah,
about
yeah,
30 women,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they turn the
They
light
press
on
the
or off.
button. What's it
Yeah,
called?
that was good.
I
And
wish
then
I would. I can't, my mind's gone blank now. But yeah,
they
that
go
was a
to
good
some
show.
island in
Yeah,
somewhere. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
good show, man. Damn, I forgot it. All right, okay. So
yeah.
listen, there's that. Love is Blind, and then this other one. All right, okay. Let's speak about it. So this is kind of like a historical.
Mhm.
This is based on basically real events. This is the Waco.
Yeah.
Um, David, was it David Koreshi or David Koresh? I
Yeah,
can't remember
I think
exactly what his name is.
David Koresh. David Koresh. Yeah.
So he's like a cult leader. He took over some building, and then well, the whole group did, the whole cult
Mm.
did, and I can't remember exactly what the demands were. What did he want? Was it actually something specific he wanted?
Well, his group, as he'd call it, but cults were called the Branch Davidians, and they
Okay.
had their own beliefs. Very, very strict. Like basically, he was the gangster of that group. He had lots of different ladies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People having kids and just they had their own life basically, and
Right.
they wanted their own peace. They wanted to live their life on their own means and didn't want any outside, interruptions and stuff like that. That's what they wanted basically, from what I remember.
Yeah. Because
What
this
they
was in
wanted.
the 90s.
This was the 90s, and the big famous or infamous thing that happened was the FBI
Yeah.
said that they were mistreating, I think, children or something, and the
Yeah.
FBI were coming to storm their house, their massive
Yeah.
mansion,
In Texas, wasn't it?
and yeah, in Texas, I think it was, yeah, and so this is Waco, and then it went wrong. Basically, a massive gunfight happened. People were
Mm.
shot. People were killed. And then I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it didn't end well. And it was all
Yeah.
live on the news. It didn't end well
Yeah.
at all.
I
So this is
remember.
Waco. It's about 3 or 4 episodes on Netflix. So yeah, you can go and watch that now. This is quite serious. This is, yeah,
Yeah, definitely worth a watch that one. I kind of remember that. Yeah, I
yeah.
will definitely get that one. All right, let's do trailers. And this one sounds interesting because this has got a kind of, I don't know, a mystical name. Maybe I'm guessing, but it sounds like this is Sacra.
Sakura.
Sacra Bleu.
Sakura Blur. Sakura Donnie Yen. So
Mm,
need I say more?
that's
Donnie Yen, we've just spoken
funny.
about him again in John Wick.
That rhymed.
Uh, yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I didn't even mean it. It's just slipping out the tongue. But yeah,
Freestyling.
this is a real fantasy actually. Fantasy, lots of karate going on. The fights are really almost. You know what? The trailer it almost reminded me a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of the Airbender. You know,
Oh, yes. The
Airbender kind
last
of karate.
Airbender.
Yeah, where
Yes.
he's doing the moves, and with it, some sort of light comes out or something where he can manipulate things and use that as part of his fighting style. So
Mm,
there's that. But yeah, he's basically a real like top gangster martial artist, and he's been accused of a killing that wasn't his fault. He's got to prove himself and fight lots of people that are trying to kill him. It's
yeah.
also co-directed by Donnie Yen as well. So
Okay.
this one's an interesting one, but it's called Sakura. It's out. It's out soon. Actually, it might even be out already in the Chinese market. But
Right.
yeah, this looks like a very interesting old school, old school kind of fighting karate or martial arts, I should
You
say,
know, I just had to.
film.
I had to whilst you were talking. I was just kind of obviously
Yeah,
looking at it, but I also had to just find out. Donnie Yen, man, he's
yeah.
59 years old,
59. See, we got no excuses, man. We got no
mate.
excuses. 59.
This creaking bones and bad backs and
Mm.
all that.
Yeah.
Honestly, and this
Him,
guy
Tom
is
Cruise, all of them. They're crazy. Mm.
this seriously, man. He's 59 years old. Um, that looks good. I'm going to check it out.
Mm.
And if you like it or if you kind of want to see it, then let us know, folks. Get in touch with us on Instagram. Mentioned it before. Like and subscribe to us. That'll help the show out. But listen, look, let's do this other one. Now, this trailer, Deval, this looks absolutely mad. There's so much shit going on in this trailer. It's called Beef, and
Mm.
it stars what we remember there was this comedy. I've forgotten her name now. She's this. Remember she did this comedy with Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yeah.
Do you remember the comedy film where she's trying to find
Uh,
love and then
oh yes. Oh yeah, and he just appears in it
he just
randomly, isn't
appears
it?
in the movie randomly?
I
Keanu
can't remember what
Reeves.
the film was, but yeah, I remember. Yeah, 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 yeah. So this is beef. Yeah, this is not for. I mean, vegans, you're cool. You can watch this. This is not about actual, food beef or animal beef,
Ali
but this
Wong.
is
Yeah, that was it.
beef as in the context of a social, I don't know, grievance. So
Mm,
this is beef. It stars Ali Wong, Stephen Young, among others. You got Maria Bello as well in there, among other people as well. And this the trailer's it's a bit of a weird, funny film, but two
yeah.
people that were involved in a sort of I guess,
Collision, car accident or something.
car
Road
accident
rage.
or
Yeah,
road
road rage.
rage, a moment of road rage, and from that it turns into a whole bigger, bigger situation. It's like the road rage doesn't stop, and they're trying to get one up on each other all the
Mm,
time, and this just develops into this another level of beef where they're just trying to always get at each other, always get at
yeah.
each other. It's a series. It's 11 episodes. When I first saw the trailer, I thought it was a film, but it's a
Me
series
too.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
it's
too.
coming
Me
out.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's coming out on the 6th of April. So by the time you listen to this, it's coming out in just, a couple of days or so. So
Yeah.
it looks funny. It looks funny.
It
Worth a
is.
watch, I
It's
reckon.
funny, weird, black comedy,
Mm.
and not only
Yeah.
that. This kind of like when they show the trailer, like she's going through issues with her husband, I think, or her
Mm.
partner, and then
Yeah.
he's got shit going on in his life, and he wants to make his life successful. She wants to kind of like find maybe love or something like that, and all the other kind of like she wants to
Mm.
basically have some excitement in her life, and then I
Mm.
think by the end of it, maybe these two
They
in
might
their
get together.
beef they
Mm.
might get together, but I don't think it's a conventional kind of story about two people
Yeah.
they fall in love and everything because they look like as if they hate each other. They rat
Mm.
each other's throats, and there's some serious
Mm.
beef. But what
Probably
happens to them?
probably turns into like some sort of like it starts off probably beef stroganoff and turns into more of a beef Wellington situation. Do you know what I
Beef
mean?
Wellington.
Yeah.
It's mad though. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and yeah, and it's like not. It doesn't look like something typical that you would find on kind of like your TV screens and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Mm.
for that, I reckon it's kind of like pretty good and worth a watch. All right, okay, let's move on to now. Um, what we do now?
Yeah,
Anniversary corner.
anniversary. Yeah, anniversary. So this one kind of fits in with one of the films we're going to talk about
Mm.
later, and this is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Oh
This is
man,
20 years old now.
it's
Do you
mad.
know that? It's
This is
20 years old, and it's still better than this Lord of the Rings they gave us on
that
Amazon.
I
And the
know.
graphics are still good. The story's still good. Everything is still good in this. Was Sean Bean in this one? No, he wasn't actually. I think he died earlier, isn't it? But
Because this is the third one.
this is the third one, yeah. But yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is the one. Oh man, Lord of the Rings, man, it's good. When you think about it, that what they started doing, 2001, 2002,
Yeah.
2003, each year they brought out, this massive fantasy
Mm.
adventure. This one, I think, walked away with like 9 Oscars or something, didn't
Yeah,
it?
man, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah,
And
crazy
also,
Oscars.
the thing is, I remember at the time when they were going to be making these Lord of the Rings movies, um, Peter Jackson, he was given like say maybe 100 million, and people
Mm,
were like, "Oh my gosh, 100 million! How is
mm.
this even possible?" But see, the thing is, I didn't realize back then that was 100 million for 3 movies,
Yes, exactly. Which, for what we got, I mean, come on.
mate. mate.
Yeah,
Come on, these
yeah,
movies, Oscar winning, like uh, honestly, like really, really great. And it's kind of like that whole continuation, right? So look, from Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, this
mm,
journey from Frodo's journey of this ring and getting into Helm's Deep. Is it Helm's Deep? Yeah, it is Helm's Deep, isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah, yeah, Helm's
Helms.
Deep. Sauron and like all the orcs and everything. Classic kind of characters and everything. You know, Gandalf, the wizards, you got flipping evil wizards, you got it all, man. This movie's the trilogy's got it all.
Mm. Everything, man.
Battles.
Yeah, Legolas and his one-liners. What do your eagle eyes see? The moon, the red moon is high. Blood has been spilled this night. It's like he's just Legolas was mad in this film, you know. Telling you, Legolas, if Legolas was out now, he'd be an incel. He'd be an incel. The guy's just like touching the ground, and he's like, "There are 2 days ride away."
And it's like, and it's so funny, right? Because he's got that one look. He's
I
just got
know,
that one
I
look, and I'm
know.
like, why
He
didn't Peter
wouldn't get
Jackson tell him? Like,
any girls now. Trust me, Legolas.
he's like Quasimodo. He's like, hey, he's like this.
You know what I
No,
mean?
seriously. And nah. I mean, listen, look, they are. And what's his name? Ryder. I mean,
Oh, Viggo Mortensen.
yeah, man.
I can't remember they called him in this. They called him the right. What's his name in this?
The
Oh,
right. He's
shit.
like,
He had two names. There's so many
yeah,
names in
two
this, isn't
names.
it?
He's because
Aragon.
he's
That's it. Aragon.
Aragon. That's it.
Aragon. Yeah.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, he was this actor who he'd been making movies for a long time, and then
Mm,
obviously he got cast as Aragon,
mm,
and then that just kind of blew him. Like he became
yeah.
massive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Legolas, Orlando Bloom, he
Mm.
became massive, and a
Elijah
lot of
Wood
these.
and all them lot, and
Oh man,
yeah.
became instant
Do
kind of
you
like
remember Sean Bean? Not Sean Bean. Sorry,
Sean Astin,
Sean Connery
Sean
was
Connery.
offered the role of Gandalf, and he was offered a percentage. If he took that percentage,
Oh
he
man.
would have made millions.
Millions. I know. It's crazy. It's
Hmm,
crazy. But I remember in this one, just briefly, there's a bit, there's a battle at the end, and Aragon,
hmm.
he looks back at his people because they're going to be fighting the orcs,
Yeah, yeah.
and I love it because he turns around and he says, "For Frodo."
Mm,
And then they just basically go into him. I
mm, mm,
love that. And they just like tearing through the orcs and everything. Great movie, great conclusion. I don't know what's happened since.
mm. It's gone down. It's
Yeah.
gone down the pot.
Yep, it is. And listen, look, that leads us nicely into the movie that we're going to be speaking about, or Deval's going to be speaking about, because again, this, with Lord of the Rings, that's kind of got this kind of whole backstory because it's based on a
Mm,
novel, this huge fan following. And again, this one, the movie that we're going to be speaking about right now, Dungeons and Dragons, again, a huge fan following. I remember watching the cartoon as a
mm,
kid,
mm,
and
mm, mm.
the bald thing.
Dungeon Master.
Oh man, that used to
And he had
freak he.
Venga with the one horn.
Oh my
Wicked.
god,
And that horse.
Venga was like scary. The little
Mm,
dungeon master, that thing was scary, and I'm
mm,
like, I could not take my eyes away from it. It was like such a
mm,
great like
mm.
cartoon. And then you
Yeah,
had the game, and then there was books, and there was all this
yeah.
kind of like all sort of
And
stuff.
the film that came out in 2020, in 2001, I think.
One, and it
I think,
didn't.
yeah,
It
didn't do
didn't.
so well.
It
Nah.
didn't do so well. So what they've done is they've now rebooted it, or they've retooled it. They've kind of reinvigorated the whole thing, and it stars Chris Pine, who's not kind of he's not a stranger to big budget
Mm,
these types of movies.
yeah.
Wonder Woman,
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek.
Mm,
Um, he's done other big movies, hasn't he?
must be a bit of a stranger. You can't mention any more.
Ah, shit. Deval's got me. All right. Well, listen, he's done big movies, all right? He's done big movies.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's actually decent. He's got this charm about him, though,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
yeah,
He
yeah,
has got this kind of charm and this persona. Even when he was doing the Star Trek movies, I thought, right, okay, great. You know what? We'll see more Star Trek movies, which that's kind of fizzled out. But he's in this, right? So, Deval, I'm gonna leave it in your capable hands. I want you to take
yeah.
it away.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little sort of mini review on this. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
spoil too much 'cause I know you haven't seen it, and some people still may not have seen it.
yeah.
But yeah, so this is Dungeons and Dragons from the game. Like you mentioned, like you nicely set up, directed by John Francis and Jonathan Goldstein, Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez,
Mm,
Rage Jean Page
yeah,
from Bridgerton. You got
Bridget,
Justice Smith.
British guy.
Was he in Pokemon? Justice Smith, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
You got Sophia Lillis, who was in what was she in again? She was in It. Yeah, the redhead girl from It.
Oh,
Yeah, the redhead girl from It. You got Hugh Grant. You got Chloe Coleman, a few other people as well. But yeah, they're the
Hugh
main
Grant.
people. Hugh Grant's in this. Yeah,
Hmm.
Hugh Grant is in this. So this is very much a fantasy, adventure, comedy, action. That is exactly what it is. And I must say, I went into this film. Yeah, let me set the premises up. The premises up actually. The Chris Pine is like sort of the leader. He's like the Star Lord of the bunch.
Right.
Of the bunch, he's probably got the least powers. Everyone else has got something better than him, but he's like the glue that sticks them together. He's the charm, the charisma. He's got the plan. That's his
Mm,
power. He's got the plan.
right.
And Michelle Rodriguez is like a bit of a, the sort of the tough guy from Lord of the Rings, the one with the
The
axe.
axe.
Yeah,
Gimli.
Gimli. She's like him basically.
Okay.
She's from a tribe
Better
of people
looking.
that are all strong. Exactly, all strong. Reggae Jean Page. He's a bit of an all rounder. He's like the knight in shining armor. He's strong. He can do everything basically. Everything.
Mm,
Justice Smith is a bit of a failed magician, hasn't got much confidence, but he's a magician. Sophia Lillis is a shapeshifter. She can change into different animals, any animal she wants.
yeah.
Hugh Grant is a bit of a trickster. He hasn't really got any powers actually, but he's a trickster.
Mm.
And you've got another lady, Daisy Hurd, who's like a warlock, not a warlock, a witch of some sort.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Very, very powerful witch. But yeah, so that's the whole group of them. Uh, Chris Pine has a family tragedy. I won't spoil it. Family tragedy, which sets him on the journey to collect an item that can then change the outcome of that tragedy. So that's his motivation, among obviously stealing money to live. They are
Yeah.
thieves, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, but
Exactly.
that's his main thing. And along the way to get this item, so the plot device, um, something happens and it just changes the film in another course,
Mm.
and then they have to obviously try and get this thing back and deal with that, deal with this, and obviously within that they've got their own individual sort of little challenges that they have to try and develop on the way to character build, character
Yeah.
building sort of thing. So that's the sort of the nutshell of why they're there and what they're doing, you know. But yeah, like I said, I came into this film not expecting much. I saw the trailer a while ago and I thought, oh,
Yeah.
this looks like it could be fun. Let me just go and give it a watch. And do you know what? This was better than Ant-Man.
Uh.
This was better than Shazam.
Uh. Uh.
Yeah, because maybe because those were sequels and the expectations were
Yes.
higher. My expectations were low. I went in there, had a good time, just watched the
Nice.
film, enjoyed it. Chris Pratt. My gosh, Chris Pine was
Yeah.
cool. He'd
Yeah.
done his job. He was
He's good.
funny.
Mm.
My favorite was Rye Jean Page. His
Mm.
character was he didn't mean to be funny, but he was funny. The way
Is it?
yeah, his character was wicked, man. He was just awkwardly funny, but just yeah, you got to watch it to see
Yeah.
see what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He's
Yeah.
just a funny character. Michelle Rodriguez is pretty predictable. She's a tough girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Justice Smith is the magic and stuff. The magic as well was kind of clever magic, kind of good magic, funny
Hmm.
magic. So it all kind of fit in with what they were doing. Sometimes you tried to do a magic trick, it didn't work, and things would happen. Sometimes silly things would happen. But like I say, this film is it's a comedy, fantasy, action.
Yeah.
Don't expect high stakes. Like there's moments where Michelle Rodriguez is. It just happens with lots of films. I notice actually. They're
Mm.
fighting the guards, and a lot of times, what do guards wear on their head?
Helmet.
And why are you punching somebody wearing a helmet?
Was wearing a helmet. Exactly.
But the punch still knocks them
Knocks them
out. Doesn't
out.
make any sense. I
Mm.
never understand it. But I saw her doing it. You're punching somebody with a helmet and they're going like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, yeah. So yeah, and Sophia Lillis's character, the shapeshifter, she can shape this into some crazy things, like a fly, like a owl, bear, just all kinds of crazy creatures. And there's one moment in the film where she has to break into this place to steal something. Really clever. She breaks. She turns into a fly, gets in
Mm.
there, but then this witch that's in there working with Hugh Grant, she's like, I can sense something, and then they realize she's there.
Yeah.
And rather than just fly out as a fly, just change it into all these things that are bigger than the fly. That's easier for them to get. And I'm like,
Oh
stay a
gosh.
fly and just fly away.
Just
They can't
fly
get
away.
me. She changed it
Exactly.
into a deer, changed it into a cat, into a dog,
Why
into. And
can't
I'm
she
like,
just get in, turn into an ant?
exactly. But yeah, silly things like that happen, but you got to just leave that alone.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I think the film was really enjoyable. The film was
Mm.
enjoyable, and I think what they had to try and achieve, like you see, obviously their motivation for achieving it, and I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but bit by bit, whether they get it or not, you see the consequences of their actions when they do
Right.
achieve it or they don't achieve it. I'm not going to spoil it, but you
Yeah.
see some sort of like consequence in a way, and I like that a little bit. You know, I did like it a little bit.
No, that's good.
But yeah, it was just like an enjoyable film. I can't, and I do know what. There's something I want to say,
Say it.
but I don't want to spoil it for you, man.
No, say it. Say it. I
Okay,
want you to say it.
there is one post-credit scene which is funny, and again, there's some really funny. But you know what? They done well with this. I got to say that they done well with this film. They done well. The more I
Yeah, I
think
want to
about
watch
it,
it. I'm gonna watch
they
it.
done well. But there's one spoilery bit.
Okay, do it. Say
And
it. Don't worry.
you mentioned the cartoon, yeah?
Oh, what? Dungeon Master.
No, but oh shit, was
Oh,
there?
they
Oh, hold
link.
on. Was there a dungeon master type guy? I think there might have been, but it wasn't so obvious. But no, the characters,
They do a multiversal.
they were there, man. Those same,
Oh,
the same Eric, the sort of the knight that's got no courage. You got the blonde
yes.
guy. You got the sister, the gymnast. You got the one that can turn invisible.
Oh,
You got
yes.
the wizard with the glasses. They were there, and I was like, shit.
That is
They were
good.
there, like every single one of them.
Great fan
Just
service.
they put it in
Brilliant.
exactly, and I was like, oh my god, it's just Dungeon Master who I don't remember seeing, but maybe we did
So,
see him.
so does this mean? Hang on a second. So it sounds like, because look, from what you've said and from the stuff that I've read, a lot of people liked the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
A
there
lot
could
of
be
people
a
like the movie.
sequel.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I was going to say, have they left it open so that there could be another sequel?
yeah, of course.
So
Yeah,
there could
yeah,
be another film.
yeah, there could be. Yeah, there could be.
Nice.
It's enjoyable. You can take the kids there as well, and it's safe.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, I really, honestly, I was supposed to watch it this week because that
Mm,
was on our radar and that's what we
mm,
said. It's just that I got sidetracked by loads of other
yeah.
stuff. But I'm definitely going to fit this in. And this idea, Deval, where people are like Marvel are spending 200-300 million on movies.
Mm, mm.
I'm pretty sure they didn't have that budget for this movie, right?
I don't think they did. Yeah, I'm trying to find
I'm
out how
pretty
much they
sure it's
spent.
high. I'm pretty sure they spent a lot
I've
of
not
money on
seen
it,
it.
but it's not going to be like Avatar
Mm.
level
Budget was
or
150 estimated.
mm,
150 million. Yeah. Mm.
okay, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
decent.
That's estimated, and with the special effects involved, I'm not surprised. But yeah, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
decent. It's
So
decent.
talking about CGI, talking about the graphics. I mean, are they on par with what you'd get in a Marvel movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
it is. Yeah, there's no lack of quality there.
brilliant. All right, it's on the watch list, folks. If you haven't seen it, maybe you should make time
Mm.
for Dungeons and Dragons
I
on
give it a
Amongst
seven.
Thieves.
I give it a
A
seven.
7,
Yeah, yeah. I
nice.
give it a 7. It's enjoyable. Yeah.
All right, okay. So have we got time, Devel, to
Yeah,
speak
yeah,
about another movie?
yeah.
All right, let's
Fit
do
in.
this. And let's speak about this for about 5-6 minutes if we can. So this is and remember we spoke about this movie. Well, I mentioned it on last week's episode about the trailer, and then
Mm.
you
I
dropped
saw
the
it last
bombshell.
year. I saw it
I
last
know.
year.
And then
Yeah.
I was thinking to whilst I was watching the movie, I was like, holy shit, Deval has already seen this movie. And it's
Yeah.
not that you've already seen it, you've seen it like a while ago. So
Mm.
you've been sitting on this movie. And so I'm talking about Rye Lane. It's a movie that I spoke about on last week's episode, saw the trailer, that it's just being
Mm.
released. And the Devout, so is this true? It's only just being released in cinema right now.
About 2 weeks ago in the
Right.
UK.
2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
So here's the strange thing. It's actually out where I am. I'm not sure about for you guys over there, but it's actually
Mm.
out on Disney Plus.
Where is it?
So
Okay.
I actually caught this on Disney Plus and I
Okay.
saw it on the whole kind of the Disney Plus homepage and I was like, hang on a second, this has only just come out in cinema. How is this out on Disney Plus, and I was like, great, I'm watching
Mm,
this. So you've
mm.
got films like Notting Hill, you've got films like Love Actually, you've got these kind of romantic
Yeah.
movies, set in London about these characters that dream like characters. And those movies are great and all, don't get me wrong. They're brilliant. Like, you can have a good time watching those movies, but there's something lacking in those movies. There was one complaint about a lot of those movies, and especially a movie kind of something like
Mm,
Notting Hill and uh, you know Love Actually is like, where is the kind of diversity in those
mm.
movies?
Okay.
You got like Chiwetel Ejiofor who was married to what's her name? Um,
Mm.
in Love
What?
Actually,
Oh, do you know
Chiwetel
what? I don't remember it. I don't remember.
Chiwetel
Yeah.
is in it, and he marries
Ah.
the British actress. Oh gosh, she's really big. So that was kind of like one little bit in there. But
Mm,
on the whole, you're not going
mm,
to go watch one of those Richard Curtis movies for the diversity. Well, check this
mm.
out. This movie, I reckon, if you're going to watch those movies, you definitely have to watch these movies because it's kind of like opens up a whole different world
Okay.
of a different side to London. So a London which you probably don't get to see, right? Like, we're talking about South London over here, Peckham, Brixton,
Mm,
seeing the real kind of the grittiness and the kind of a
mm.
different side to London. And that's what I loved about this movie. So the movie starts off in of all places, a toilet where a guy, Dom,
Oh
he's
yeah.
basically, yeah, he's crying. He's basically crying because he's been dumped,
Mm,
and he's crying in a unisex toilet. And another person, Yas, I think, no, sorry, her name's Yas. She's kind of like, she overhears him, and he's like, "Listen, I'm having a moment over here. Can you just kind of like, leave me alone?" And it was so funny because she turns around, and she says, "Well, you can't be having a moment when you're in a public toilet." And
mm,
then it was just kind of sets off this whole little tone about the movie, and I just found the movie really interesting, the way that it was directed. The director used these weird little shots, kind of like, from above,
mm.
really kind of getting involved in the storyline and using kind of like a wide angle lens to fit in so much. And I just thought that was kind of like really interesting. And we follow these two characters, how they meet. They start off in a kind of art gallery. They start hitting it off. He's really kind of like heartbroken because he's just been dumped. His girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, he caught her having sex with
Mm,
his best mate from high school. So there's all that stuff
mm.
going on
Yeah.
over there. And then throughout the whole movie, these two are kind of on this journey, like, aren't they going to hit it off? Are they going to start kissing? And you know they go to kind of like, parties, they go to kind of like, restaurants, they go to parks, a whole range of different places, a part of London which you probably would never even go to, but you get to see up on screen, which I thought was really interesting. And I like the chemistry between the two. Like, I thought they were fun. I thought Dom was like really, really kind of like, it's kind of comes across as nerdy,
Mm,
comes
mm.
across as kind of like, he's unsure of himself. And Yaz,
Yeah.
she's kind of confident. And
Yeah.
I really, really like this movie. And I had a good time watching it. I think if you like your romance, if you're romantic movies, it's not your typical lovey-dovey romance,
Mm,
but it's kind of like edgy, urban, a different type of romantic,
yeah.
love story. Would you reckon, Deval?
I think so too. Yeah, it's very, and even the character Yaz is very quirky. She kind
Mm,
of reminded me of, for a second, I thought she kind of reminded me of one of those characters that maybe is only in your mind and no one else can see her. Because the things that she does is like she doesn't care who sees. It's like she's the sort of
yes.
person that is so free spirited, but he's a
Mm,
bit more, you know, socially awkward and
yeah.
very overly aware and a bit more rigid. So those two parallel kind of personalities mixing up,
Mm,
it's a good sort of blend, in an ideal world like this rom-com. But
yeah.
yeah, very very quirky comedy, very funny scenes, like the scene in the restaurant where they're like
Yes.
I think it's a double date or some sort of date in the restaurant,
Well,
and the
the
wait.
ex-girlfriend asks
That's the
him to come.
one. Yes,
Come to like talk about
yeah,
the kind of like, what happened and everything, and it was a
yes,
really good
yeah,
scene. You're right.
yeah. Mad funny scene. But yeah, this is only like an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, really
Breezy.
quick film. So won't take up too much of your time. But in the UK here, it's not available yet on Disney Plus. It's in the cinema, so maybe it'll come to Disney Plus soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
So if you can't see it in the cinema now, which I urge you to go and do because it is a good film, then
Mm.
maybe you can catch it on Disney Plus. But yeah, Rye Lane, I
Exactly.
really liked it. Rye Lane's
Yeah.
started in London, isn't it? South London, Peckham area.
Yeah.
Rio Ferdinand, the footballers from there. David
Yeah.
John Boyega is from Peckham.
It's from over there.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if Idris Damson is from Peckham. I'm not sure, but
Mm.
South London. A lot of these actors that are really big in America, some of them come from that area. So you should check it
Yeah.
out.
Really good movie. Go check it out,
Check
honestly.
it out.
So look, those are our movies this week. Go check them out. And if you do watch them, please do let us know about it
Mm.
on Instagram. We'd love to hear your views on the movies that you're watching. And remember, we'll shout you out on the show. All right, listen, look, so Deval, that is all we've got time for on this week's episode. Hope you can join
Yep.
us again for another episode next
Ooh,
week,
next week we've got Air. That's the Michael Jordan film with Ben
which is on
Affleck and
Netflix, isn't it?
now it's in the cinema here. It's in the cinema here.
Oh, no, yeah, it's
Mm.
coming out on Netflix as well.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, wicked.
Yes.
Okay, and then you got the Exorcism film with Russell Crowe. Maybe I'll see that as well. So we'll see.
Yes.
Mm.
And let's see if we can fit in the Tetris movie.
Oh yes, definitely an Apple. Yeah,
Yes, on Apple. All
yeah,
right. Okay,
yeah.
Deval.